And nigga, be real to yourself before you real with anybody else. Hey, gang. What's the deal? This y'all favorite hood partner, Big Nina Boy. We back cracking with another reaction, man. Hey, listen, man. Let me set the record straight, man, because some of y'all just don't get it, man. Let me tell y'all about life. Some people have bad advice. Some people give people bad advice, man. Y'all just gotta pay attention, man. A lot of y'all been jumping in my comment section, even hitting me on Instagram, right? Having your opinion about what I say or my perspective, right? This case will never be reopened ever again in life, bro. I don't care how you cut that. I'm a very intelligent person. I'm very articulate. So for somebody to jump in my DM and undermine what I say, do your homework. You see what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell y'all like this: if you don't like my content, hey, bro, don't come over here. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Why? It is hundreds of channels on YouTube. If you don't like the content over here, do not watch it. It's 8 billion people in this world. You don't have to come rock with me. I don't gotta rock with y'all, because can't nobody have an opinion about what I do or say on my channel. So with that being said, I want to make sure that we clear, right? These are just opinions. This is a perspective. I gotta understand, man. This is content right here. You see what I'm saying? And we doing good over here. We running up the numbers on the scoreboard. So yeah, man, y'all tune in if y'all rocking with my opinion, my perspective. This is not to get anybody in any situation. These are theories. And to be honest with you, like once again, this case will never reopen ever again. You see what I'm saying? And once it hit the internet and everybody speaking on it, it is fair game, man. So let's get into it, man. We got Bryannita talking about, she giving her testimony in court, and it's some flaws that I seen in there, man. It's crazy because I feel like this though, right? If you didn't know what was going on, why would you park, you know what I'm saying, in that alley? You see what I'm saying? You knew that boy had them guns in that car. You see what I'm saying? I think Bryannita dealing with the guilt herself, my nigga. At the end of the day, I don't think nobody knew. You got to understand, nobody knew how would this affect the world. Yeah, Nipsey was a rapper. He was an icon. He was a community activist. He was a leader. But, the passing of Nip, man, it tore the city down. You see what I'm saying? Let me tell y'all what my opinion of Nipsey is, right? He was an empath. Y'all know what an empath is? That's somebody who likes to help everybody. You understand what I'm saying? An empath is somebody who helps everybody. And 9 out of 10, they problems don't always be their problems. Their problems is always somebody else's problems. Because when you're an empath, you only try to help people. If you look at Nipsey Hussle career, he primarily helped so many people, man. He took care of a community over there. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I say this content is so crucial to always make his story live. You see what I'm saying? He's been gone for some years now, but I always feel like Nipsey Hussle's legacy shall forever live. And make no doubt about it. It's a lot of things with this case. Okay, yeah, Eric Holder has been convicted. I'm 100% sure they don't want nobody else. They got the killer. The killer is already in jail. So anybody with opinions or theories, man, don't let nobody hinder y'all or try to say something about whatever, man, because at the end of the day, these are just opinions. But I will say this, though, right? Before we get into the video, if Bryannita didn't know what was going on, you know what I'm saying, why did she park in that alley? Why did she park in that alley? You got to understand, she made allegations that she only been dating Eric Holder for a month. She only was with him for a month, right? when they pulled up to the, before we get into it, I want y'all to pay attention to the detail, because it's no way that you can say you didn't know he was like a gang member. He jumped, he had a blue rag on his neck with 6 tattoos on his body. You see what I'm saying? This is why I say, did she know? Did she help set up Nipsey Hussle? Because at the end of the day, your statements and your testimony, it keeps changing. It's a lot of flaws in it. So let's jump into this reaction, man. Y'all be the judge and the jury. I just present the content. Let's get it. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
This is about 2:53 in the afternoon. In about 30 minutes, Nipsey will be lying dead in that very parking lot. Now, what happened between this moment and that? Well, you're going to hear from this woman, Bryannita Nichols. Let me tell you a little bit about Bryannita. Bryannita was born in the Deep South. She moved to Los Angeles as a little girl with her mother. She lived in the city for a while, and then they moved to other places in the county, but outside of LA. On this day, in 2019, she was 32 years old. She was educated, employed as a caregiver, and supplemented that income with a second job as a Lyft driver. She had just got her own place, and she's doing very well for herself. Normal person, no known ties to any gangs, no criminal history of any kind, not even any known contacts with police officers. But as it turned out, about a month before Mr. Ascadon was killed, Ms. Nicholson met Eric Holder, the defendant. And she met him when she picked him up for a fare as a Lyft driver. They had a conversation, they exchanged numbers, and they started hanging out. And she was quite busy working 2 jobs, but she found time about every other day to spend time with him. And they hang out, they go to eat, they drive around, just normal activities. Now, Bryannita will describe the relationship to you in her own words, but you'll see from the evidence that she had an interest in him. She liked him. But you'll also hear that this was not a dating relationship. There was really no affection for her in this relationship. There was 1 or 2 times that they were intimate, but even those were very cold. In hearing her testify about...
Did you know you don't have to wait until you pass to receive a payout from your life insurance policy? You see, those that have signed up for life insurance with the living benefits option will be able to receive tax-free cash while they are still alive. If they need long...
Why she was interested in Mr. Holder and why she spent time with him, I think you'll find that she was lonely and wanted to be in a relationship. And Mr. Holder treated her okay. She noticed he had a lot of tattoos on his body, but she didn't take particular notice of what they said or what they meant.
All right, so that's where it kind of sounds tricky, right? She's educated, you know what I'm saying? She can comprehend, she got comprehension skills, right? She met him as a Lyft driver. So, you know what I'm saying? So he cracked you. Eric Holder knocked her by, you know what I'm saying, picking up a ride. You see what I'm saying? And then y'all wasn't intimate at that point. You see what I'm saying? You noticed tattoos on them, you scoping them out. You can't tell me that any female is not going to ask you 9 out of 10 when a female see tattoos on your body, they want to interrogate. They want to see what that mean, what that say. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. It's not like she lived in Beverly Hills, Rodale Drive, where she just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like she just gang goofy to you know what I'm saying, to hoods and territories, man. She grew up in poverty like everybody else. Not like that, but man, come on, bro. She was a CNA nurse, I believe she was, and she was a Lyft driver. Come on, man. She was trying to make her way up out the hood like everybody else. She know what was going on. She knew that it don't take a rocket science to see somebody and be like, oh yeah, you from a hood. Like, what hood you from? Because when you come from the streets, you gotta know what you dealing with. What kind of woman would you be if you see a hood dude and you not asking where you from? You putting your life in danger. You don't know if that dude got enemies. I ain't never dealt with a woman at some point in time where they didn't ask or inquire where you from. You see what I'm saying? Or what gang you with, especially when you look like a gangbanger, you dress like a gangbanger, you act like a gangbanger. Because 9 out of 10, if you pulling wool over your head, you could potentially get shot. We could go out to eat somewhere and somebody catch you out of bounds and knock you down, and she getting hit in the midst of it. So that's why I say y'all gotta watch this. If Bryannita didn't really know what was going on, then that means that she was just goofy the whole time. Let's go.
During the less than 1 month time that they spent together, she also seen him with guns on more than one occasion. Both semi-automatic gun and a revolver. She thought that because of the neighborhood that they both lived in, like a lot of young men his age, he was carrying the gun for protection. On March 31st, she worked that morning. She worked driving for Lyft. When she got off work, she and Mr. Holder got together, decided to drive to LA. She wanted to go to the Slauson swap meet. He said he wanted to go hang out, get something to eat. So she drove in her white Chevy Cruze to Los Angeles. And eventually they made their way over to the intersection.
All right, so we're going to stop there. Let's bust this down, right? So obviously they're not in the city of LA, right? She already testified saying that she's seen Eric Holder with guns on several occasions. So what did that tell you? She's seen a semi-automatic and a revolver. This is way before he even plotted on trying to knock Nipsey Hussle down. So with that being said, so you knew if y'all was driving out of y'all city into LA, you knew that man had guns on him the whole time. Mind you, she seen him with guns in the car. I mean, with guns. So you drove him from, I believe they was in Long Beach. You make no doubt about it, right? All right, she talking to him. She liked the fact he a hood dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you know he got to protect himself. So you knew he was in your car with a gun. Without a doubt. You knew this. It's no way that y'all can convince me that she didn't. The Slauson swap meet is right when you get off the 110 freeway, you get off on Slauson. So that means y'all passed the Slauson swap meet to go to the 6-0s. So you can't tell me that she didn't know what was going on, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is not to say like, yeah, like, you know, she was just innocent, like she was just naive. I don't believe she was naive. It's possible that she could have known. You see what I'm saying? It's possible. We just you can't be naive to think she didn't know what's going on because she already knew that he had guns previously before they even got to LA. Let's get it.
Slauson and Crenshaw, where Mr. Holder said, oh, turn in here. There's a place in here where I want to get some food. So she turned into what was a very busy parking lot, as you can see. And this is her white car turning into the lot at the top right of the image. And as she turned into the lot, she drove right past a group of men you can see standing there. And I can tell you, in that group, you see to the far right, Herman Douglas, also known as Cowboy. You also can barely make out Mr. Askadam by the white wave cap, or do-rag, if you will, that he's wearing. And next to him on his right is a man named Evan McKenzie, also known as Renhall. And they're all friends, and they're all from the neighborhood, just chatting. As Miss Nicholson drives in, Nipsey looks at the car and says, "Is that shitty?" He was referring to Mr. Holt, who is also known as Shitty Cuz.
Right. So look, so now y'all see, even in court, they listen. She knew he was from 6-0, man. Eric Holder got 6-0 all over his body. Mind you, now they pulling in the parking lot, right? She knew, think about it. Hey, catch this game, bro. Bryannita have not been on any social media, anything in years. Why is that? If she had nothing to do with, being a active getaway driver for Nipsey Hussle's murder, why she ain't on any social media? Yeah, I mean, at this point, everything would have died down, right? The case is closed, right? Black Sam confirmed it. Everybody confirmed it. If you have any common sense, ain't nobody finna get in trouble over somebody's opinion or theory or perspective. I don't care how you cut that. This is America. You can have an opinion if you want to. It's crazy how some of y'all be on here. Oh, man, you don't see. Listen, this case will never reopen. It is closed. Everybody made their statements. Cowboy then snitched, took the stand. Bryannita took the stand. Listen, nobody's coming for this case, bro. I don't care what y'all say. A lot of y'all be out here popping y'all 1-2. But man, listen, homie. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. But one thing y'all not gonna get. See, you got to look at it like this, though, right? She already seen him with guns before they came to LA. All of a sudden, they get off the freeway. They pass the Slauson swap meet. They pull up to Master Burger. This nigga, Eric Holder, got a blue rag on his neck with no shirt on. So that nigga got the Crip blue rag on, no shirt on. She know his guns in the car. So, you know what I'm saying? And her testimony in the interrogation room, he even mentioned to her that he wanted to do a drive-by. He just met her. Right? But in the interrogation room, she even confirmed that Eric Holder admitted that he wanted to do a drive-by, right? So I don't think they're going to have it in the court right here, but y'all got to go back to the original investigation interview when she was in the police station. She confirmed that Eric Holder said at one point that he wanted to do a drive-by. By him pulling up to Master Burger with a blue rag on his neck, no shirt on, she know it's 2 guns in the car. Come on, gang. Why you think he brought 2 guns? Because he didn't know if niggas was out there going to have a gun. Make no doubt about it. Black Sam said 9 out of 10, somebody is up there with protection. How you know how vain that would be to have a celebrity, a superstar at his place of business, and yeah, he got a team of members and don't nobody got a weapon to protect him? You cannot be that naive. Somebody had to have something. Now, regardless of my opinion or my perspective, I'm not going to be obliged to say, oh, no, man, everybody they scared to have guns over there. You can't have no. Somebody got to be willing to crash out for Nipsey, because if something happened to Nipsey, everything crumbled. And look what happened. Everything crumbled. You know what's so sad about this? Nobody returned fire, bro. Nobody returned fire. You mean to tell me if we gonna get to it. We gonna get to it. Let's go.
It's an alias, it's significant. As he's saying that, Ms. Nicholson, who's driving in, is saying, oh my God, that's Nipsey Hussle. She had no idea that she was going to see him on that day. She's a fan. And she even said something to the effect of, oh my God, Nipsey is so fine. Eric Holder, sitting right next to her, said nothing. He didn't say, oh, I know him, or we grew up together. No response at all. She had no idea that Eric Holder knew who Nipsey Hussle was. So she pulls into the lot, and at first, with no place to park, she stops her car at what, as we look at it, will be near that fence.
That's when Renpar go to his car right there. Renpar went to the car to go get the gun. Right
Now,
there.
what happens next?
All right, so let me just say this, right? So just so some of y'all have this idea, right? This is just my theory, my perspective, my opinion. Right there, when Eric Holder pulled up right there in front of Master Burger, Nipsey Hussle asked Renpar, "Is that shitty, cuz?" And he said, "Yeah, that's shitty." Cowboy is to the right. Nipsey Hussle got his back towards the wall. Renpar got his back towards the gas station. Right after that, Renpar goes to his car. If y'all look in that footage, Renpar goes to his car and come right back. First of all, you in gang territory, so somebody better have a chopstick. I honestly believe that it's possible that he could have had a gun. I was not there to say, oh, it's factual information. I'm saying it's possible. And the fact that Cowboy is there and Renpar is there, two of his homeboys is there, and nobody got a weapon, that just means that niggas dropped the ball. That's even worse. That's even worse. Because at the end of the day, what are you doing not having a chopstick on you, knowing that it could be a potential imminent threat to this man's livelihood? You know you cannot afford for him to die. You see what I'm saying? Why did he walk to his car and walk right back? You can't convince me that it was no other reason but that. Right after the conversation of Nipsey's asking, "Hey, is that Shitty Cuz?" They see Shitty Cuz is a stepper from 6-0, right? A known shooter. Why do you think Renpar went to the car? Shitty, everybody knows Shitty was a shooter. He was with it. He was one of them dudes that was gonna get busy with you. So of course he gonna go to that car. Because at that point, Nipsey Hussle said, "I wonder how this go play out." Right after Nipsey said that, that's when Renpar went to the car and get the gun. You see what I'm saying? Now, we don't know what Renpar could have done. He could have potentially got nervous. Think about it. You know, you got a shooter coming into the parking lot, somebody who known for knocking stuff down. You got a famous rapper, a business entrepreneur. You got an ex-drug addict / employee of the All Money In brand. Then you got Renpar as an artist. You see what I'm saying? A known gang member from 6-0 as well, right? You don't know how it's gonna play out. So you go get your gun. You just never know. But when he got there, I don't think that they seen him as a threat when he first, when he walked up. But when at the end of the day, Bryannita's going to say something on this interview, I believe is this. If not, I'll play it on the interrogation interview where she said she felt the tension between Eric Holder and Nipsey Hussle. So if Bryannita could feel the tension between Nipsey and Eric Holder, why didn't Cowboy feel the same tension? How can a female feel the tension and not the dude? That don't make no sense to me. You can't convince me that, oh, she walked up and intervened in a conversation. Y'all let that boy get up on Nipsey too. Look, he even asked Nipsey, was he a snitch? That right there. And Nipsey was like, no. See, you tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could have went down like, how you feel somebody called you a snitch? Would you have just, whatever. Cowboy didn't take care of that. You see what I'm saying? Cowboy, that's why Cowboy is living in guilt. That's why anytime Nipsey Hussle name come up, anybody say anything about Nipsey, he's defense mode because he knew he should have took care of Eric Holder once he felt that tension. Because if Bryannita felt the tension, that means Cowboy and Renpar felt that tension as well. And they should have eliminated that off the backboard, but nobody did it. Why is that? So my opinion is follow the money trail. Who got paid after Nipsey Hussle died? And this is just my opinion, bro. This ain't, and I don't care what nobody say. Y'all gotta rock. Listen, if you don't like my opinion, you don't like what I say, you don't gotta come over here. You don't gotta deal with me at all. Do y'all. Y'all don't gotta drop comments in my comment section or my DMs. Y'all don't have to watch this. So with that being said, let's get to it. Let's go.
Next is Eric Holder gets out of the car. You can see him there in the still. And one of the things that you'll notice about him is that he's shirtless. And he was shirtless when he got in her car in Long Beach. That's where they were living. That's where they met up. That's where they left to come to Los Angeles. He was shirtless with a bandana around his neck. And as far as she knew, up to that point, she hadn't seen him with any guns or any weapons or anything. But he gets out of the car and he goes directly across the parking lot into a place called Master Burger. And when he walks into Master Burger, we get probably the best images of him that we have in the trial. He goes into Master Burger, he orders some food, and then he walks out while his food is being prepared, and he walks directly over to the group where Mr. Ascadon was. If you look at the screen, you can see him walking between the cars. He walks right up to the group and he starts shaking everyone's hand, including Nipsey right there. Now these guys, they either know each other or know of each other because they're all from the same neighborhood. But Mr. Holder hadn't been around the neighborhood for quite some time. He's living down in Long Beach. So he's getting acquainted with these men, and in this group at this time is Cowboy, Mr. Ascadon.
So yeah, let's bust this down, right? So they both lived in Long Beach. Bryannita and Eric Holder lived in Long Beach, right? Eric Holder ain't been in the 6-0s in years. You see what I'm saying? She said that she didn't know he was a gangbanger, right? But also in some of the interviews, in interrogation interviews, she mentioned that he said that he wanted to do a drive-by. They only known each other for 30 days. They only been intimate probably twice. And every time that Bryannita and Eric Holder went out on a date, she paid for everything, right? So that means, what did that tell you? If she was paying for all the dates, she was paying for everything, that means that Bryannita really liked him. You see what I'm saying? Maybe he was acting stingy on hitting it because, you know, some of these dudes, all they want to do is just jump in her drawers. You got to get in a woman's head before you get in her bed, man. And I think that's what Eric Holder was on. He got her to the point where she pretty much would have did anything for him, because she mentioned that she seen him with guns before they even got to California. I mean, to Master Burger. She said 30 days, she know he had guns. She said that she didn't really mind it because she know he had to keep guns to protect himself in the neighborhood that they live in. So he drives with her from Long Beach all the way to LA with no shirt on. He got a blue rag on his neck. You mean to tell me you didn't know he was a gangbanger? Come on, man. It's right there, man. It's right there in front of y'all face. Let's get it.
Eric Holder, Ren Paul, and there's another guy there getting an autograph off to the far right of the group, whose name I don't know. But he gets an autograph and he walks off. Now, Bryannita is sitting in her car. She's turned it around, still no place to park. She's sitting in the car and she sees Eric Holder walk over to Nipsey Hussle. And in her mind, she thinks, oh, he's going to try to get a picture before me. So what does she do? She jumps out of the car and she runs over to get a photograph with Nipsey Hussle. She walks right up to the group and she notes that there's a conversation going on. And she doesn't know how it started. She's not even sure what was being said, but she heard Mr. Holder using the word snitch for Mr. Ascadon, saying something to the effect of, did you snitch or did you ever snitch? Something like that. She's really unclear on what was being said or what context it was in, but she hears the word snitch. And when asked what were the demeanors of both Mr. Ascadon and Mr. Holder, she said, well, as she put it, Nipsey seemed cool. He seemed very casual, but Mr. Holder seemed a little, what she described as messy, a little agitated, maybe a little bit on edge.
Look, right there, right? She already can identify his temper. He was edgy, messy, on edge. Right. Once again, this is a Bonnie and Clyde situation. It's no way that you can ever think that she drove all the way to LA to go to the Slauson swap meet and then go to Master Burger. And he already previously before that, he even told her that he want to do a drive-by. And the interrogation interview, she said, "You're not doing no drive-by in my car." So this is where it leads you to think, wait a minute, if they already had these conversations, why would you park in the alley after he come back? You see what I'm saying? The guns was already in the car. They never left. They never went anywhere. What they did was after he shook hands, they got their food. They hit the block. They hit the corner a couple times. He probably checking to make sure that there's no police in the area because he knew what he was finna go do. You mean to tell me that he went on this mission, led this girl astray where she had no idea? That's accessory. It had to be some money involved. I'm telling you. Reason why you're not going to ever see Bryannita. Bryannita is papered up right now. Cowboy got paid. Bryannita had to get paid. And I'm pretty sure that Eric Holder probably got some money sitting up somewhere so he could eat and live the rest of his life in prison. He knew he ain't getting up out of that. You can't convince nobody. You got to understand. This was not a plan that he did by himself. This is not a play. I don't think Eric Holder is smart enough to that plan. It was strategic. It was, think about it. When he walked inside the Master Burger, he came with his shirt out to cause tension, fear, make people, because they know everybody know that he had the allegations of him being a snitch. Everybody knew that. You see what I'm saying? Everybody know, oh, he under paperwork. Why you think he ain't showed up in his hood in so long? Because people had that rumor that he was actually out there telling. And ain't nobody seen the paperwork, but the rumors gonna always stick once somebody put it out there. You got to understand. He was prepared to die that day. Eric Holder was supposed to die in that parking lot. That's why when he went over there and shook their hand, he started shaking hands because he wanted to see who had a gun. He wanted to check everybody out. He seen Cowboy didn't have no gun on him. But when he put up in that parking lot, he watched Rampart go to the car and walk back. He was watching them the whole time. You see what I'm saying? He already know what type of operation Renpaul is, so he probably wasn't even worried about Renpaul. If anything, he was probably going to have to knock him down too. You see what I'm saying? But what happened? When Eric Holder started shooting, Renpaul started running immediately. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, he feel like he was in the clear, bro. This is a Bonnie and Clyde situation. That's why I said you got to understand that this play was already set. It was already set to go. He had no shirt on from Long Beach. So you mean he was in the car with no shirt on and a blue rag on, right? 9 out of 10, you with your girl, you bumping your gangster music. You trying to get into your little killer mode at this point. You see what I'm saying? We don't know, you might be playing some Mozzie or, you know what I'm saying, something. You know what I'm saying? That's going to motivate you to carry out what you got to carry out. That's why I say you can't think that she was just gang goofy. She had no idea what operation he was on. You was with him for a month. You kind of got a good insight of who his personality is, what kind of dude he is. You see what I'm saying? She knew this dude was with it, probably a little bit off, probably on meds, whatever. But she also knew that boy had 2 guns. That dude didn't go nowhere without a gun. He's labeled a snitch. When you're labeled a snitch, you better keep a chopstick on you because you don't know who might be coming after you. Let's get it.
Cowboy is also there listening to this conversation. And Cowboy is a self-described former Rolling 16 gang member. Now he's kind of an older cat. And he's there, and he also says, well, there was a conversation between Eric Holder and Nipsey Hussle. And in that conversation, Nipsey was telling Mr. Holder that there's word on the street about you snitching, and you need to clear that up. You need to go get the paperwork, which gang members often use to refer to court documents and such. You need to go get the paperwork to show that this didn't happen. And he said it was a cool conversation. There was no hostility.
FTMO is one of the highest ROI places that you can trade without having to risk your own money.
There was no pushing or shoving or anything like that. Because, as he put it, if he even had an inkling that Nipsey was in any kind of danger, he would have been on it. And one of the things you're going to learn during this trial is that.
All right, so look, y'all heard that. It's already documented that Cowboy said if he thought that Nipsey Hussle was in any kind of danger, he would have been on it. Now, I want y'all to pay close attention. Bryannita even stated in her interrogation interview that she felt the tension between Eric Holder and Nipsey Hussle. How is it that she can feel the tension between that conversation and Cowboy don't feel nothing at all? First of all, if somebody speak on Nipsey's name in vain, say anything bad, Cowboy didn't slap somebody for even saying that Nipsey Hussle was his brother. You see what I'm saying? And he slapped somebody in the park allegedly, right? So what make you think about it? If Eric Holder asks Nipsey, are you a snitch? You feel me? And Nipsey's like, nah, Cowboy should have took off on him right then and there, because that's it. That's already in the transcripts of Eric Holder asking Nipsey, are you a snitch? And that's when Nipsey was saying, no. That right there opened up a lot of doors for me. That made me question, like, wait a minute. You say all this high power stuff, like, you know, I would have took a bullet for Nipsey, I would have protected Nipsey. But the moment that we start to hear was the transcripts, what was said between Eric Holder and Nipsey, Bryannita is telling her side of the story. She heard just as much as Cowboy. She never heard Nipsey. She never admitted that Nipsey said, she never said Nipsey called him a snitch. All she heard was Eric Holder with attention saying, are you a snitch? Because before she got there, Nipsey Hussle said, hey, it's some rumors going around about you that you want some paperwork, man. Go get your paperwork and clear that up before you come around me. That was all that was said. And Eric Holder was like, that's like saying me asking you, are you a snitch? Are you a? And he said, no. And that's when attention started coming. So Cowboy could have action right there. The moment that Eric Holder called Nipsey a snitch, that was an imminent threat right there. Playing with that man top like that, you should have got up on that boy Leon, but you never did. You never took the time to even try to get more. First of all, you let him get side by side by Nipsey. You see what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if Cowboy was scared of think about it. I don't care how hard you is. It's always somebody better than you. Yeah, you might could knock people out or whatever you might say you could be, but everybody ain't a knockout artist. Some people will chip you. You know what I'm saying? Knock you down. You see what I'm saying? Knock the battery out your back. You know what I'm saying? Or unplug you if you put your hands on them. So that's why I said, man, it ain't adding up, bro. If Cowboy stated all these testimonies about how he was there to post it on everything, when they asked a Cowboy about, you know, the team and all money in, he said he was only there for Nip and Nip only. So what does that mean? You pledged your life to Nip to protect and be there for Nip. You didn't protect him that day in that parking lot. That's why he's so guilty. That's why he has shame. That's why since he messed up, dropped the ball, he want to fight anybody that say anything about Nipsey that he don't like. But when Eric Holder asked Nipsey, was he a snitch? You didn't touch him at all. And this is documented that Eric Holder asked Nipsey Hussle, was he a snitch? That's disrespectful. You didn't even get at that boy because you knew that boy would have knocked you down. Let's go.
After a life in the game, you become very sensitive to those kinds of things.
Right.
You live with your head on the swivel. You're constantly looking for danger. You have to survive. So these guys do get pretty good at recognizing, and maybe even sometimes over-recognizing or over-interpreting situations that are actually dangerous, but they see potential. But he said he didn't see anything like that at all. It seemed like a regular conversation. But obviously it wasn't. Those are the individuals in the group. And after that, during the conversation, Bryannita Nicholson said Nipsey stopped and asked if she wanted a picture. And she was just standing there. She said yes, So what does he do? He walks over, he takes a picture with a fan. That's the picture that he took, one of the last photographs ever taken of Nipsey Hussle. And you can see how happy she is. Because you can imagine that she.
Hi, my name's Cody Sperber. I know your time's very valuable. I've been in real estate for over 20 years. I want to partner.
Media post that picture and say, look who I was with. And that is.
One second, y'all. 1 second.
Meanwhile, Mr. Holder was still there talking to the group. After a few minutes, he walks away. He goes back to the mat.
1 second. Yeah, see, it's starting to get tricky, man. It's starting to get tricky. He was watching out of Master Burger that whole time, gang.
He walked over to the car.
Man. See, you can't convince me that she did not know what was going on. She knew what was going on. She was just scared. She didn't know what was the severity of what she would be looking at. But I also believe that Eric Holder.
They drove. She's the driver. He's the passenger. He's got his food. He's got some chili cheese fries on his lap. They drive out of the strip mall, and he tells her, "Oh, hey, go around the block." So she drives around the block, and as they come back toward the strip mall on Slauson, matter of fact, just as they pass the driveway that they first turned into, she sees that he is manipulating a handgun. And it's the first time she said she saw him with the gun that day. She doesn't know where it was, where he kept it, but she didn't see it. And when she saw him with the gun, she was afraid that he might shoot her or shoot somebody else from her car. So she said to him, "What are you doing with that gun? You're not going to shoot from my car with that gun." And he kind of laughed it off and said, "No, I'm not going to do that." Put the gun away. Well, as they passed the business, he said, "Well, go around here and just go to the back. I'm going to eat my food back here." So she drove through the Shell station, around the Fat Burger restaurant, into a parking lot and the alley, which is south of the mall where Mr. Askedom and his friends were. And she parked and he started eating. And then at some point, he stopped eating. He said, "Wait here." Put on a shirt, a red shirt. He said, "I'll be right back." She said she didn't know where he was gonna go. She thought maybe he forgot something or he was gonna buy something, but he took his food with him and he started walking back through the alley, back toward the strip mall. Now, as he walked through that strip mall, he got picked up by a couple of different cameras walking back toward the strip mall. You can see his path here indicated by the letter D. And if you look at the upper left-hand corner, that is camera 6 picking him up as he turns the corner from the alley back into the strip mall. Mr. Askedom is leaning up against the car. He's talking to a man named Kerry Lathan, who had recently arrived. He's also talking to a man in a pink shirt named Sherman Villanueva, who arrived with Mr. Lathan. And Evan McKenzie, also known as Rimpaw, is still there. Cowboy, who had been there for most of the time that he was in the parking lot, had gone into the Marathon store where he worked to eat his lunch. Holder walks up. He walks along the sidewalk in front of the businesses until he gets to the two cars where these gentlemen are. And no sooner than he walks between the cars, he pulls out not one.
Hey, listen. So if y'all pay attention to what Bryannita said, what did she say? "You're not going to shoot out my car." She never, you're not going to shoot out my car. That's in reference of you're not going to do a drive-by in my car. And he laughed and said, no, I'm not going to do that, right? So he jumped out the vehicle with the red T-shirt on, but he also left with what? He didn't leave the guns in the car. He put the guns in his pocket and he jumped out and walked away. You understand what I'm saying? So what did that tell you? That tell you everything right there, bro. You see what I'm saying? Now, this case is never going to reopen, bro. So I don't care how y'all paint it, how y'all cut it, right? Because a lot of y'all think, oh, man, look, the girl, they don't want her. She's not going to jail. She ain't getting in trouble. In actuality, I have to believe that she's probably in protective custody at this point. You see what I'm saying? Because they got the shooter. You know what I'm saying? She was, think about it, bro. She said that you're not going to shoot out my car. You see what I'm saying? So he jumped out the car, ate a couple of his chili cheese fries, walked back into the shopping center and did what he did. And guess what happened? She ended up picking him up and drive away. You knew he was finna go do something. He had to think about it. Anytime you go do a drive-by, you want to make sure that your Glock, your chopstick, you got it off for safety. You got to get ready to go do your 1-2, right? If you already know that, then what did that tell you? What did that tell you? It was clear as daylight that she knew what was going on. You picked that boy up after you heard the gunshots. Think about it. Why you think she's not on social media? She's not on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, none of that. She was in on it. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Nipsey died, man, rest in peace to Nip, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, nobody returned fire, bro. That's where all of this is stemming from. Nipsey Hussle should have been well protected. You see what I'm saying? Nipsey Hussle provided for so many people, homie. So that's why I say, man, y'all gotta pay attention to detail, man. Like I said, this is just my perspective. But shout out to Black Sam, man. He opened up a lot of people's eyes because at the end of that year, Nipsey died. Y'all know who did it, but we still don't know why he got killed. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of speculation on why he died, homie. And by that being an icon, man, that's just a part of the game, bro. Let's go.
On the two guns, and he starts shooting. He starts shooting in this very tight, confined space where there are 4 people. And he strikes 3 of the 4 people. Nipsey Hussle struck almost immediately. And
pick him up after
you hear one of his injuries transected his spine, severed his spinal cord. And when you see him drop, he almost drops like dead weight, and he's never able to move again. One of the first shots must be the shot that took away his ability to move his legs. Eric Holder is shooting from a .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun and a revolver. He fires at least 10, possibly 11 shots. 10 separate shots go into the body of Nipsey Hussle. And after he's done shooting, he walks over, he kicks him in the head, and then he runs back toward the alley. I'm going to show you 2 video clips of the shooting. The first one will be from this perspective at regular speed. The second one will be cropped in a little closer and at a little bit slower speed.
There go, cousin Kerry fell down. At this point, Rimpart ran. He ran towards Slauson. Eric Holder is still doing. Look. Oh no, that's when he did what he did. When he, yeah. Now look, there you go. He's running.
Cowboy
He's
and
running.
running out of the store.
Now he ran back in the alley.
Mr. Haskell.
Now,
We're
this,
gonna watch it again, a little bit slower and a little bit closer. And I would ask you to look at the top of the screen where you'll pick up Mr. Holder walking directly up to the group. He walks between the two parked cars where the gentlemen are, and he starts shooting. And if you look closely, you can at one point see him shoot from the left hand and the right hand. And you'll see him retreat back after a few shots. And then he goes back and he shoots some more. And he retreats back. And then he goes back.
all right, so y'all gotta understand, right? She seen the guns before he got out the car. Bryannita seen the guns before he got out the car. So she knew what he was finna go do. So you got to understand, he threw on that red shirt to throw everybody off. As soon as he got up close up on him, he put out two guns. Two guns was to assure that he'd be able to knock down anybody that's trying to knock him down. Why would he have two guns? Because he didn't want to die. Eric Holder didn't want to die that day. For number one, Eric Holder know that shopping center got cameras everywhere. He created, look what he did. He did this in broad daylight on camera. He knew that it was no way he could walk over there with a Pooh Shiesty mask on, right? So it was no way, because he would have felt like if he walked up with a Pooh Shiesty mask, people would have caught on to what's going on. They probably would have shot him before he got close to Nipsey. So he knew he had to expose himself to get close to them. Once he got close to him, he whipped out, started shooting with both guns. Two guns being shot at the same time, that is loud. Bryannita is in the parking lot right there. She see what's going on. So if she didn't have nothing to do with it, why she didn't drive off? Because that's accessory to murder. You can't, listen, if she didn't know what was going on, why she just didn't lock the doors and leave him where she was at? She only known him for 30 days. She didn't know him long enough to pledge or owe him any loyalty, homie. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't have to pick him up. You got a 38 revolver and a semi-automatic. You shot that boy with two different guns. Come on, gang. Come on. Cousin Kerry got hit and his nephew got hit, and he shot Nipsey multiple times. Everybody heard that in that parking lot. This is right. Think about it. See, what y'all not paying attention to, the moment after he get done kicking Nipsey in the head and start running towards Master Burger, Cowboy came out. How did Cowboy come out the back in the break room that fast? He came out that fast. Like, come on, bro. It just didn't add up. Now, once again, this is just my opinion, bro. All I'm saying is this. We seen who killed Nipsey Hussle, homie. We seen it. So we're not saying who killed Nipsey Hussle. That's not the conversation that we're talking about. We saying, did people know or did people not know? That's all we having a conversation about. And this is just a opinion. You cannot incriminate anybody from an opinion, especially when we talking about something of a case that's been closed for over 5 years. Come on, bro. Let's go.
Back in and he shoots even more. The only thing that was said prior to the shooting is Eric walking in between the two cars, looking at Nipsey and saying, "You're through." And Nipsey, after being shot, responding, "You got it." Let's take a look at that. A little closer perspective.
Have you or a loved one been in a car accident in the last 2 years? Many settle for far less than they deserve.
Look, you walk up on him. You shot him. Wow. You hit him. Everybody look. Ripper run. Look at Ripper running right there. Now he about to walk back up. Shot him again. Nipsey holding his hands up like, wait. Hold on. Look, now he about to walk up on him. He about to finish him. Shot him again. Look. Now look, he's about to run off. You see Nipsey still moving. So look. Now he go again. So again, look, now Nipsey made all the way back. Now he's trying to make sure, look. This is when he kicked him. Look at Cowboy. Look, Cowboy running out the store right there at that point, right there. Look, Cowboy runs straight to Nipsey. Look, he looking dead at he looking dead at Shitty. Ran out the door. It was nothing you man. Come on, bro.
As Mr. Holder flees the location, he runs right back past that Master Burger restaurant that has pretty good cameras. And when he does that, he gets picked up by a camera that shows him running by, where you can clearly see the revolver in one hand. And if you look very closely, you can see part of the semi-automatic in the other.
So my thing is this, right? You know, Eric Holder has been, found guilty for this situation. All I'm saying is this, man. I think that Cowboy could have possibly knew. It is just my opinion, bro. I don't care what nobody else thinks. I think Cowboy could have potentially knew what was going down. If you don't like how I feel about that, don't watch. Get up off this channel. You don't got to watch this, but it's just too obvious that, think about it, man. The time, the way when he got ready, when he finished doing what he had to do, look how Cowboy ran out. He was right there at the door. He was right there. Man, he wasn't in no break room, bro. Hold on. He was not at no break room, bro. Hold on. Look, watch this.
And he goes back in and he shoots even more. The only thing that was said prior to the shooting is Eric walking in between the two cars, looking at Nipsey and saying, "You're through." And Nipsey, after being shot, responding, "You got it."
Hold on.
Let me show you two video clips of the shooting. The first one will be from this perspective at regular speed.
Who ran in the store?
The second one will be cropped.
I think I don't know. I think it was Kid Flashy. Oh, no, it wasn't Kid Flashy. I don't know. We got a good question. We go look into that. Look, there you go, walking up again. Look, he walking. Look at the person who passed by. Look who passed him by. Look, wait a minute. Two people passed him by. A boy going inside the Marathon store. He ran in. Look, Rip Hop run. He out of there. Look, he was about to run off. At that point, Cowboy was already at the window. Look. By the time he get back on the sidewalk, look, Cowboy right there. Look, Cowboy is right there. He was watching. Cowboy was watching, bro. Hey.
And we're gonna watch it again a little bit.
Cowboy was right there out the window. Hey, listen, homie. This is just my opinion. Cowboy was right there watching. Think about it. Because remember when he realized that Nipsey was not finished, he ran back to make sure that he finished the job. Cowboy was right there because soon as he ran off after he kicked Nipsey, soon as he tried to run back to the curve so he could run on the side by Master Burger, he was right there watching. Cowboy he's dealing with something right now, homie. You got to realize how that plays in Cowboy. You got to understand. He watched Eric Holder finish off his little homie. He watched him finish it. This is where the guilt come in at with Cowboy. You see what I'm saying? So what did Cowboy do? Cowboy took the stand because he knew his job was to protect Nipsey. He got scared. Cowboy got scared. You knew Eric Holder was a stepper. You wasn't ready to die. Cowboy wasn't ready to die. So nah, he sat back, he watched it. Let him get on the curb and try to run off. The guilt that Cowboy is feeling, what he endured, is going to scar him for the rest of his life. He couldn't have did nothing at that point. Cowboy didn't want to die. Cowboy knew if he would have came out, yeah, you saying it after the fact, it would have been one less bullet and saw the Nipsey. man, when he ran to the curb, the moment he got back onto the curb, you was right there. You was holding the door. If you zoom in clear, if anybody that know how to edit, you zoom in, I guarantee you go see Cowboy sitting back watching Eric Holder shoot Nipsey Hussle down. Shoot him down like a dog, homie, and he didn't do nothing about it. The times, look how the times match. The moment he ran off from Nipsey, your Cowboy seen him run. It's already in the documents. You can't say you didn't see him. You came out before he even left the premises. So that tell you what? That glass door, you talking about you ran out from the break room. Man, you didn't go through all them doors and came right there, bro. Man, come on, bro. Listen, Cowboy got scared. He got nervous. He wasn't ready to die. Okay, whatever it is. So he got to deal with that guilt internally by himself. Rempar ran. He got to deal with that internally by himself. Hey, listen, let me tell y'all something about life, man. You know, everybody have an opinion about people and all that. Rule number one in life, never care what nobody think. Even when you make mistakes, you drop the ball, you got to own up to it. Chest out, chin up. You made your mistake. You made your bed. You need to lay in it. But making excuses and all that, bro, that ain't cool. Cowboy seen that boy right there. You could have jumped out like, hey, come shoot me. Nah, you didn't do none of that. You just aided to Nip, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you were scared. You see what I'm saying? I don't care how tough you is with your hands. When another man got a gun, you not go try that, bro. You know what I'm saying? It probably changed his life forever. Like he'll probably go out now and somebody put out a gun, like do something with it. You know what I'm saying? But then, nah, Cowboy probably had some fear in his heart. He didn't know how to respond to that. It happened so viciously and so brutally. Because mind you, Eric Holder tried to take off, but Nipsey was still moving. Remember when he came back, he was like, oh, all right. You know what I'm saying? And that's when he did what he did, man. And you know, that's why I say, watch what Cowboy said at the testimony when he made his testimony on the stand. He said, for one person's mistake and one person's action, that was no mistake. That was with intent. But Sam, anybody see that? Like, bro, let me find out that you using words like that in regards of my brother. A mistake? That wasn't no mistake, bro. That was on purpose. That was a motive. Not once when you did your shooting, not only did you shoot Nip, you shot two other people. Then you come back to finish him off, and then you go kick Nip in the head. Nah, bro. That ain't no mistake. I pick up what people write down, homie. So yeah, man, he knew, bro. He knew. Let's go.
A little slower and a little bit closer. And I would ask you to look at the top of the screen where you'll pick up Mr. Holder walking directly up to the group. He walks between the two parked cars where the gentlemen are, and he starts shooting. And if you look closely, you can at one point see him shoot from the left hand and the right hand. And you'll see him retreat back after a few shots. And then he goes back and he shoots some more, and he retreats back, and then he goes back in and he shoots even more. The only thing that was said prior to the shooting is Eric walking in between the two cars, looking at Nipsey and saying, "You're through." And Nipsey, after being shot, responding, "You got it." Let's take a look at that. A little closer perspective.
Nipsey tried to stop him from shooting. Y'all seen when his hand came out, he tried to stop him. All right, so look. All right, so hey, once again. So did y'all see the person who ran inside the store? It was a customer ran inside the Marathon store. So what do that tell you? That person who ran inside the store had to inform, hey, they shooting out there. You see what I'm saying? They shooting. Come on, bro. Come on. You can't, man. Everybody inside Nipsey Hussle store heard the gunshots. You see what I'm saying? Now, if the person that was inside that store ever want to expose Cowboy, it'd be over. I don't know if he, unless he paid him off for some Cowboy, man, he was right there at that glass door. If only if we could zoom in and we could see, because the way he came out, it only took a couple of seconds for him to do what he done. Because when he ran up on Nipsey, once Nipsey realized he seen the gun, Nipsey tried to put his hand out to try to block the gun down. You see what I'm saying? He shot. When he tried to block the gun down, that's when I think he ended up shooting Cousin Kerry. Because Nipsey tried to, get the gun away from shooting him. And the gun went off on Cousin Kerry, dropped him, then dropped Nipsey, Rempar ran. Cowboy is inside that store watching this whole play go down, bro. He watched it. Let's go. Cowboy right there. Look, Cowboy is right there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch this. Here comes Cowboy right now. Cowboy running out the stove. He watched. He was right there. He still took his time to run out the gate. Cowboy was right there that whole time, man.
As Mr. Holder flees the location, he runs right back past that Master Burger restaurant that has previous cameras. And when he does that, he gets picked up by a camera that shows him running by, where you can clearly see the revolver in one hand. And if you look very closely, you can see part of the semi-automatic in the other hand.
So I'm gonna say this on record, right? Because I know a lot of y'all want to misconstrue. This is just my opinion. My opinion. You see what I'm saying? Is like everybody got one. You see what I'm saying? Now it's up to you to have your own opinion. You see what I'm saying? We're all grown. There's 8 billion people in this world. Everybody have an opinion. I'm not verbatim saying that it is a fact. It is just my opinion. I want to make sure I'm clear, because a lot of y'all get out here and y'all make it seem like something else that it ain't. Have your own opinion. Don't have my opinion unless you see the same thing that I see. If that's what you see, then that's just what it is, man. This is a closed case. Cowboy is a documented snitch. He done took the stand. Ain't nobody reopening this case, bro. So while we going back looking at the throw off of the play, it's just an opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Let's go.
In one still image from that, you can clearly see the revolver. The revolver is in his right hand. He turns the corner to head back down that alley, and he gets picked up by another camera, where this time you can clearly see the black semi-automatic handgun in his left hand as he runs by. You can see both guns, but the semi-automatic now in his left hand is clearly visible. He runs to Miss Nicholson. Now, Miss Nicholson has been sitting in the car when she hears a couple of gunshots. And then she sees some guy running. Obviously, she gets concerned. She doesn't know what's going on.
Pause. Pause. You mean to tell me she sees some guy? She seen him with a red shirt on before he got out the car. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. She's saying, oh, I seen some guy run. This dude is running with 2 guns in his hand, the same t-shirt that her slide on, quote unquote, dude she talking to had on before he got out the car. Now you saying you didn't know who that was? Come on, gang. Come on, gang. Bryannita, You safe. That's all that matter, man. You safe.
She's wondering where Eric is. She's worried about him. But she almost takes off because it looks like pandemonium is breaking loose when he runs up to the car and he jumps inside the car. And when he gets in the car, she sees 2 guns. And she starts asking questions. What happened? What happened? Are you okay? Are you hurt? And he just says, drive. And she's hesitating because she wants to know what happens. And eventually he says, drive before I slap you. And he had never threatened her before. He had never raised his voice at her before. She was afraid, so she drove off, heading back home, but still asking questions. What happened back there? Did you hear the gunshots? Who was shooting? He didn't answer any questions. He just sat silent.
What? Listen, she asking the nigga who run in the car with 2 guns because the guns was already out. What happened back there? Who was shooting? Come on, man. Come on, gang. Look, she tried to look. She's saying, "Hey, listen, bro. At the end of the day, rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, man. You see what I'm saying? I'll let y'all be have y'all opinion, man. Did y'all think she knew about it? Or she didn't. You see what I'm saying? Like she said, who was shooting back there? What happened? Let's go.
So Miss Nicholson was asked, well, what did you think?
This game, you're not ready for.
And she said, well, I don't know what happened. I thought maybe somebody was shooting or maybe somebody was shooting at him. But when asked, did it occur to you that maybe he did the shooting? She said, no, why would he shoot me? Like, I never knew him to be that kind of person. I wouldn't think he would do that. When Ms. Nicholson testified, pay attention to her. Pay attention to how she processes the questions, even basic questions. I think you will find in her a certain naivete, a certain simplicity. And I'm not going to want to be disparaging. But she's really a very kind of, I would say, unsophisticated person. And you'll find that from her. Anyway, she starts driving down to Long Beach, and it's a long, quiet ride. She gets to Long Beach, she drops him off at a cousin's house, and then she goes home. Later that night, she gets a phone call from Mr. Holder. He asks if he could spend the night at her place. But she just got her place. She had no furniture in her place. And she said, well, why do you need to spend the night at my place? He said, well, you know what my place looks like. And apparently his place was pretty bad. He was living with an uncle. And it was kind of atrocious, unclean. And so he said to her, well, I don't want to go there because the place is just nasty. And because she had been there, she thought, oh yeah, well, I'll let you stay. You can stay with me and my mom. She took him to her mom's house. They spent the night. The next day, he asked her if he could get, could she help him get a room? Because he had no ID. And in order to rent a room, you need ID. So she did. She went to a motel. She helped him get a room, used her ID, and then she went off to work. Now that night, she had heard, because people were responding to her Facebook and saying, when did you take that picture? Did you hear what happened to Nipsey Hussle? So she heard that night after the shooting that Nipsey Hussle had been shot. But in her mind, she did not put that shooting together with the shooting that she was there for. Nor did she think at that point that Mr. Holder had anything to do with it. That was Monday. Monday night. By Tuesday, she had heard enough about the shooting that she started to have real questions. Maybe he did this shooting. And then her mother called and said, "Why is your car on the news?" Because LAPD at the video saw what the car looked like and started broadcasting that this is a wanted vehicle. Her mother saw it and told her, "We got to go to the police." On Wednesday, they went to the police. And they met with Detective Washington and Detective Amaral. And she walked up to the front desk. Well, before they met with the detective, she walks up to the front desk and said, "My car was on the news. I'm supposed to come in." And she was sent away. Apparently, the guy at the front desk didn't recognize the import of why she was there. So she left. The detective got a hold of her. She came back. And then she submitted to about a 4 or 5 hour interview with detectives. And before she was interviewed, they read her rights. They said, "You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to the presence of an attorney if you want. You have all of these rights before we talk to you. What do you want to do?" And she said, "I want to talk to you." So they interviewed her for quite some time about what she knew about the shooting. She answered all of their questions. They asked her if she minded if they looked at her phone. In fact, they asked if they could search her phone, which means extract all the data from her phone. She consented to it. They asked if they could search her car. She said it's parked outside. They secured the car. They searched the car. They asked if they could search her home. She agreed. They asked if they could search her mother's home. She agreed. So obviously, they're doing their due diligence because there is a woman who drove the shooter to the place where the shooting happened in a way. And to ensure that she was not involved, that this wasn't somehow something that was planned or that she played any role in, they looked very closely into her life. And she consented to it, which is, I think, something you should give a lot of value and weight to. She consented to it all. After that interview, and the case was presented to the district attorney's office, I wanted to talk to her. So again, she was asked to voluntarily speak to me. I interviewed her for about 2 hours. And again, she was informed of her rights. She waived her rights. She sat there by herself with 2 detectives flanking her and a district attorney, and she answered all of our questions. You will hear that she has been 100% cooperative with the investigation and with the case. She testified in front of the grand jury. She did so knowing that there were many threats published on social media by gang members and non-gang members who wanted to know who the driver was, because the social media sphere thought that the driver was involved in the killing. So even in light of all of that, she's been very cooperative, and she will walk into this courtroom and answer all the questions that are put to her here once again. Now, you saw from the video that it was more than Nipsey Hussle, who was injured in the shooting. Obviously, he was killed. But this man, Kerry Lathan, who was 56 years old at the time, he just got out of prison, by the way. Kerry Lathan suffered a conviction for murder. In 1996, I believe it was. He spent 25 years in prison. He got out in September 2018. When he got out of prison, he's from the neighborhood. He's rolling 60s OG. When he got out of prison, Nipsey Hussle had heard about him and sent him a care package of clothing from his clothing store. Had never met him before, but just wanted him to land on his feet, so he sent over a bunch of clothing. And based on that, Kerry Lathan met him a couple of times after that to thank him. And on this particular Sunday, went over to the store to buy something. And when he pulled up and got out of the vehicle, he saw Nipsey sitting there, and so he just walked over and started talking to him. And they sit there and talk in the parking lot. You're going to get the whole video clip from the time Nipsey Hussle arrives to the shooting. So you can go through it and see the whole timeline. I'm showing you clips this morning, but you'll get the whole thing. And you'll see that he wasn't there more than a few minutes before Holder came back and did the shooting. And he suffered a very serious injury. He was shot in the back. The bullet lodged in a place that made it very difficult for him. You saw him on the ground. He couldn't move. He now is sort of limited and confined to a convalescent home. He's confined to a wheelchair. The shooting has impacted his life severely. And he's going to come to court, but he may not be very cooperative when he comes to court. And that might be true of some of the other witnesses too. Because of the nature of this case, the fact that it is a rolling 60s case, I'll call it. You have two rolling 60s gang members involved in a neighborhood where you're not supposed to talk to the police, even if you're the victim of a crime. We'll see how willing he is to answer questions when he comes in. But he has answered questions in the past. He was interviewed. I interviewed him. He testified at the grand jury. So hopefully, when we bring him to court, he will testify here in front of you as well. And if he doesn't, there's some tools in the law that allow us to try to deal with that and get the information that he knows out to you. The main thing about him, though, is he got hurt really, really bad. He wasn't there when this conversation was going on between Mr. Assadon and Mr. Holder. He came at the tail end of it. But he was there when the shooting happened. And what Mr. Lathan is able to tell you is that he's just sitting there leaning back against a car when he hears you're through, and he looks over and sees muzzle flash. So in this very tight, confined space, he tries to get out of there and do his job. Sherman Villanueva is Mr. Lathan's nephew. He's the one who brought Mr. Lathan there that day. He's another one who I expect to come to court. We're trying to get him to testify is going to be a challenge. He's on the body-worn video that he saw. He got shot in the lower abdomen, but fortunately for him, the bullet hit his belt buckle and fragmented. So he had superficial injuries. You'll see a photograph and some video of his bloody shirt. And he was very fortunate. When you watch the video, if you can imagine two parked cars with Mr. Lathan here and Nipsey Hussle here facing each other. Mr. Villanueva was at the other end of that alley. So when Holder walks up and starts shooting, he's directly in the line of fire. Here's a still from some body-worn camera. That's Mr. Dillon. That's Kerry Lathan is on the ground behind that white Audi. And Villanueva is in a t-shirt. Cowboy is the one with the cowboy hat. leading, trying to render.
FTMO is like the modern day Robin Hood. They gathered trading capital to fund traders like
The first aid and Evan McKenzie of Renfall is the one standing up looking down. That's Villanueva. You can see some of the blood on his shirt from, again, what was a superficial injury. Mr. Lathan was taken to the hospital. We'll hear from him about his injuries. Mr. Villanueva declined any kind of treatment. And obviously, Mr. Ascadon was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. After a shooting like this, detectives will fan out and try and collect anything they think might be relevant. So that's how we got the video. They go around, they canvass businesses to look for video, and we got a number of video clips based on that effort. The other important thing that is found for these cases, now if you've ever fired a gun before, and I know some of you have, you know that semi-automatic handguns automatically spit out part of the cartridge. The cartridge is an unfired bullet. We're going to bring an expert in to tell you how semi-automatic handguns work and what these things are you see in this picture. This is part of what we typically call a bullet. Technically, it's a cartridge. And this is the part that houses the gunpowder in the projectile. The projectile is the part that leads the gun to hit things. This part that houses all of that gets ejected from the gun every time the trigger is pulled. A new cartridge is loaded. When that's fired, this gets kicked out, and as many times as you pull the trigger, these casings will be kicked out. Investigators found 8 of these at the crime scene. They are .40 caliber cartridge cases. They were examined and determined to all to have been fired through the same handgun. You're going to learn a little bit about how scientists are able to make that determination. So we have 8 different casings, all the same caliber, examined under high-powered microscopes, and determined to all have been fired from the same gun. So what this evidence is going to show you is that Mr. Holder fired at least 8 rounds from the semi-automatic handgun, at least 8. I say at least 8 because there were a lot of people out there that.
Man, think about it, y'all. If Nip got hit with a 40 cal, that's a banger right there. If Nip got hit multiple times with a 40 cal, you better believe everybody heard that. You see what I'm saying? We gonna get into it, man. But once again, bro, like I said, man, you know what this looked like? If Cowboy knew Nick was gonna die, it's all over. It's like on Paid in Full how Rico did Money Mitch. You got what? You got 300,000 in that bag? You see what I'm saying? Because hey, Cowboy profited off of Nipsey Hussle's death, bro. He pulled out with Harleys and Francos and stores and calling himself prolific and all that. Like after Nipsey died, Cowboy was the only one you seen really balling off of this. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I said like Rico did Money Bench. Man, look, died for the money. Like you could have stopped Nipsey from dying, bro. You see what I'm saying? You could have potentially, you could have did anything, bro. You didn't even try. You just once he stopped shooting, you ran up out the store. You seen from the glass window what was going on. That 40 cal go loud. You see what I'm saying? That boy had 2 pistols in his hand. You see what I'm saying? So 9 out of 10, we know you not running up on shitty. When that boy got 2 chopsticks in his hand, he got a revolver and a 40 cal. Yeah, that would have blew holes through you, man. I know Cowboy was not finna. He wasn't finna try to say, Nip, let's go. Now, and let me make sure I'm clear, though, right? In no form of fashion am I saying factual information. I'm only giving my opinion. That's in regards to Bryannita and Cowboy. So I want to go on record with that. I know a lot of y'all be trying to make, put out the wrong narrative. And this is just content at the end of the day. So everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And this is already on the internet. So once you hit the internet, man, you can have your own opinion, your own perspective if you want to. Let's go.
They could have gotten kicked around. These things are small. Oftentimes they're found. Sometimes they're missed. But we had at least 8, so that tells you 8 shots from the city on that. What you'll learn is that a revolver doesn't automatically kick out the casings. They stay in the gun. So, revolver, typically 5 rounds.
5 or 6.
5 or 6 rounds. And there's no way of telling how many were in the gun that day, but if there are 8 casings from the semi-automatic, and you'll hear that Mr. Ascadon was shot at least 10 separate times, maybe 11. Layton was shot, and Villanueva was shot. If you assume 11 shots, that's 13 shots in total, at least. If you assume 10 shots, that's 12 shots in total. So 8 from one gun and the balance from the other. This exhibit just shows you where the cameras were positioned. We'll get into this more when the witnesses who collected this video testify. There's another camera that showed Ms. Nicholson's car leaving the alley. And then the autopsy. Not going to show you any autopsy photos today. But I do want to say a few things about Mr. Ascadon's injuries. They were devastating injuries. He was shot in the head. The shot to the head did not penetrate the skull. It went through the scalp and back out. Amazing. But he was shot literally from the bottom of his feet to the top of his head. He suffered a perforated lung. 3 different bullets perforated his lungs. 1 bullet transected his spine. So even if he had survived, he would have been paraplegic. He was shot, 1 bullet shot past through his lip. So it was a devastating attack on him. And I think you will find by that kick to the head at the end, that it was a very personal attack. You will see the photographs when the coroner comes. They're not going to be especially graphic, I can tell you, because the coroner will have cleaned up the injuries and will basically be looking at holes in body. So if you're sensitive to that, I don't want you to think that you're going to see anything overly graphic when that time comes. So let's go back to Mr. Holder. He got a room on Monday. On Tuesday, he got arrested. Tuesday, Wednesday.
Not have counsel ask the technical questions.
Self-extended procedure.
Get my document offline over here. The shooting happened on Sunday. We stayed with the Bryannita Sunday night. He got a room on Monday. He stayed in that room on Monday night. I believe he was arrested on Tuesday. Okay, that's how I do it. And he was picked up by a deputy sheriff in Bellflower. And when he was picked up, it's okay. When he was picked up, he was wearing the same clothes that he's wearing at the time of the shooting. Right down to the bandana. Same sneakers, same belt, same pants, same red shirt. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, the evidence in this case will clearly show, leave you absolutely no doubt, that Mr. Holder killed Ermias Ascadon and injured Terry Lincoln and Sherline Williams. There'd be no doubt about that. You're going to hear and see evidence that he had plenty of opportunity to think about what he was going to do before he did it, and did. And I make that point because we have charged not just murder, but premeditated and deliberate murder. The difference between premeditated and deliberate murder and murder will be argued at the end of the case. Premeditation and deliberation doesn't mean long-term planning. It just means you had an opportunity to think about what you were going to do before you did. From the time he got out of the car, walk all the way back to that strip mall and walk up to those gentlemen and start shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting. Clearly, he had plenty of time for premeditation and deliberation. We also charged 2 counts of attempted murder and 2 counts of assault with a firearm for the shootings of Villanueva and Lincoln. So we charged that conduct in 2 different ways. And I can't argue the difference to you now or explain to you now why that's done. But at the end of the case, I will. I will explain to you and argue to you that what he did was in fact both attempted murder and the lesser crime of assault with a firearm. A lot of this case is going to be video, but there will be witnesses. I will try to introduce witnesses in a logical sequence, but just like a lot of jurors have issues and dates and appointments, it's not going to be presented perfectly logically. And to the extent that this is a case from South LA in a neighborhood claimed by a gang, some witnesses may appear and not seem all that helpful or cooperative in answering questions by either side. So be prepared for that. And with that said, I thank you for your time and your attention this morning. Everything that you saw is going to be represented when a witness testifies. And you will get it at the end of the case to have during your deliberations. Okay.
Thank you.
Did you know you could be entitled to a 5- or 6-figure payout if you were?
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. You know, like once again, man, I honestly gotta say this. This is just you know, my perspective. You see what I'm saying? I think she knew. But she could have been in fear for her life. You know, we don't know how it played out. We wasn't in that car. I also think Cowboy seen, you know, Eric Holder shoot, you know what I'm saying, from the window, from the glass window. And once he, you know, realized that Nipsey was done, after he got done getting knocked down, he came out to try to save Nipsey. So with that being said, man, I'm going to get up out of here, man. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Y'all new to the channel, pull up and come rock with me. Y'all know how I'm coming, man. I'll see y'all on the next video, gang. Let's go.